Hi, it's another Wednesday, and you're welcome to the Premier League Preview Show right here on City TV Live on Facebook. My name is Nathan Kwao, and the Preview Show is proudly brought to you by Betway and Premium Bank, and proudly supported by Vodafone, Slide Pay, and Guinness. We'll be getting into the package very soon, so send us your comments, drop them in the comment section below, and we'll be getting right into the menu. Remember, Ronald Koeman is the star man of the week, not because of anything good. He's jobless, and Slaven Bilic still has a job. The mysteries of this life will continue to go unexplained. My name is Nathan Kwao. When we come back, I introduce my guest and we start talking. Preview show live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. only on City TV. We are live on Facebook as well. So tell your friends to tell their friends to tell the other friends, so all of you can sit, get some good data, and enjoy the best of breakdowns when it comes to the Premier League. My usual partner in crime is back. Benjamin Nketiah is here. Yep. Last week we were talking about Everton and how they needed to go out, show fight against Arsenal. You said Arsenal would win. Arsenal won through to prediction 5-2. But as Arsenal took the 3 points away, they took away Ronald Koeman's appointment letter as well. He's fired. He doesn't have a job now.
And he has himself to blame. He really dug himself into this hole. And I don't know where to start even tackling the issue from. So this is just one of the situations where a manager has been fired, and I still really have no doubt about his competence. I don't think that this really dents his credentials as a manager. I don't think that he's any less a tactical brain because of this dismissal. I just feel that he made poor decisions, and decisions I'm not sure were informed by himself alone.
What kind of decisions? Because here he was with £75 million in his hands after selling Romelu Lukaku. Yeah. He needed to build the team again after losing their only source of goals. Yeah. Where did it go wrong for him?
Well, poor decisions, like I said, deciding that replacing a player who had been sold for 75 million with a player who cost less than 20 million. And I'm not saying that player values are directly proportional to how players will perform.
Okay.
But I'm also saying that in the scouting pool in Europe, there were more suitable candidates to a striker's role than Wayne Rooney and the likes of Sandro Ramirez. And again, it's very sad how he has utilized Gylfi Sigurdsson, because we all spoke about how enterprising and how Gylfi Sigurdsson would be close to fulfilling his full potential as an attacking midfielder if he joined the right team with the right manager. I felt that Ronald Koeman was the right team, was the right manager. I'm not too sure if Everton was the type of team he needed to go to, but Ronald Koeman did not make the job any less complicated by playing him out on the left, in central midfield, deep, and all over the place, really. Just unsettles the player and just takes him out of his zone with regards to where he likes to operate comfortably, and that didn't help. Again, you are playing your most expensive and your most influential player out of position. That case study alone is enough for the Everton hierarchy to look at Ronald Koeman and say, either you've lost your bearings or there's something that has just happened between the moment you were at Southampton and the moment you've been here that just doesn't add up.
Some people say that open statement of his desire to coach Barcelona one day did his head in, and he was never really involved emotionally in that job at Everton. Some fans claim he was distant from the team. He was cold. There was not enough warmth between himself and the club. Do you think that managers should love the teams they work for, or you are there to do a job, you do it and go home?
Not necessarily, but in the case of Koeman, again, like I'm saying, I don't think he should have taken the Everton job.
Okay.
After Southampton and what he had achieved, I felt that he needed to bump up to something bigger, something more significant. Maybe he felt that the climate at Barcelona was just not right for him to take over. But I'm just saying, look, if you have an opportunity, if you have the stature and the caliber of a manager like Ronald Koeman, you should always be aiming to punch higher than a team like Everton. One, because they will not be the team that will offer you the finances. Forget about the Romelu Lukaku, KT and everything. It's a one-off thing.
Okay.
You will not be supported in your ambitions to bring in players that will support your objectives. That's the first thing. Second thing is that opportunities to coach teams like Barcelona, they are few and far between. But again, I must say that ever since Barcelona fired Pep Guardiola, I don't think they've hired anybody better than Ronald Koeman. I don't think Luis Enrique was better. I don't think Tata Martino was better. I don't think any of the other guys.
Did he put himself in the shop window for Barcelona, or the fact that, you know, because in between, I mean, those periods, the two main periods, you're talking about Pep's exit, and then when Enrique came in, you had Koeman, who was at Southampton, I believe, trying to, or you think that the jobs in England to him were places where he was going to make a statement. And then
that's what it was. For him, he wanted to make a statement in England that when I was given Southampton and Everton, this is what I came up with and this is what I did. So you know that if you hand me a bigger responsibility with a team I have an emotional connection with, it's definitely going to be fireworks. But so far, again, the Everton project has been quite poor. And it's only been this season, let's be honest. He did pretty well with this Everton squad that I felt was very average last season. But Ronald Koeman has a few minuses in his book. Again, I just think that sometimes he's a very headstrong guy. And I've just realized I wouldn't even say it's a Dutch manager thing. I feel that there's just a certain crop of managers who, in their heads, are intelligent to a certain level and do not think that anything else anybody says is better than what they know and what they have to do. And that's the situation with Ronald Koeman. I just felt that at a point, he should have really moved away from all this.
He should have played it simpler.
Just done the simple stuff. And again, why are you playing somebody like, why are you not playing somebody like Oumar Niasse when you have genuine goal scoring problems? One, you have a player who is willing to fight and has everything to prove. Just because your personal pride is at stake does not mean that the team should suffer.
I watched an interview of Oumar Niasse where he spoke about he being driven to the edge by Ronnie Koeman and the back room, and the fact that they never gave an explanation to everything they did. They sent him to the under-21s. He didn't have a locker. He didn't have a team number. It was just horrible.
And it was terrible. It's terrible. It's a terrible way to treat a professional footballer, because look, for a player to get to this level, they must have sacrificed a lot. So for him to have treated Oumar Niasse like that was really poor. And you get the sense that players in the team might not have been comfortable with the tactics he was playing, but he insisted on persisting with those tactics. It's launched him in the hole. Hopefully he gets a better job than Everton.
Everton take on Leicester. That's on Sunday at 4 p.m. And it's an interesting situation. Ben, Everton and Leicester, two teams who have kicked out managers in recent weeks. I'm sure they'll share notes on where to go from here. David Unsworth looks like he'll be handling this team at least on a temporary basis. If you had to bring somebody in at Everton, who would you bring? I've heard names of David Moyes. Everton, please don't do it. No, don't.
Everton and David Moyes have a special thing, you know. But the truth is, who am I bringing in to replace Ronald Koeman? Good question.
People have mentioned all kinds of names. Sean Dyche.
Sean Dyche seems like
he's linked them to the Leicester job too.
The truth of the matter is that at Burnley right now, I feel that Sean Dyche has grown bigger than Burnley. Where will be the next possible progressive step in his career? Everton seems like a good place to stop. Maybe Big Sam. I've always liked Big Sam. I've always liked him in the league. I like his wildness. I like his ability to micromanage situations. I think that he would do a good number.
Big Sam.
On
you feel that Everton should persist and draw him out?
They should. He would do a good number of them. I'm just still going over a couple of names, but I did mention Roberto Mancini for Leicester City. I still think that he would fancy another shot at the Premier League, and we know that Everton have mid-table status. They have quite an amount of money, so I mean they will be able to attract Roberto Mancini if salary and money will not become an issue. But there are quite a number of names there that could really do a good job with this Everton team. But the only thing is that both are teams without managers. But Leicester City, remember, have won under Mike Appleton already. They've won one game already, so it's not as gloomy back there as it is with Everton. They have a lot more reworking to do with what they have now.
We'll see. Ronnie Koeman's left the building. We'll find out if and when a new manager comes in at Everton. But then we have a showstopper on our hands. It's the first game of the weekend. Manchester United taking on Tottenham Hotspur, who were imperious last week against Liverpool. And they have England's best number 9, Harry Kane. This week I heard him say that he was at the FIFA Best Awards in London. He said the seeds of greatness were sown in his life. He looked at Ronaldo picking up the award and he was telling himself he needs to do this sometime.
And that's what I like about Harry Kane the most. He's not out there sitting there saying things like, I play in the Premier League, or no English player has won it, or I can't win it at Tottenham. He looks at himself and what he's done now, and he sees it as evidence to possibly go on to be greater than he is now. And I don't see any reason why he can't. Again, there might be those who will say that Tottenham Hotspur are not the type of team to win with. Look, I've seen how organizations have been run in the Premier League in the past 5 years or so. I think that Tottenham have been run fantastically. They've done some of the best recruitments in the league. They've done some of the best sales and purchases. As far as club welfare and infrastructure is concerned, they are doing big work.
They are refurbishing White Hart Lane as we speak.
They are doing some really good work. So I really don't see how a club like Tottenham will not rise to the heights of a club like Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester City in the next 3 seasons if they do continue to make the right investment and the right moves. For Harry Kane, he will want to score against Man United to remind them again that, look, I am that guy you want to spend your next big world-breaking money on. So he will bring his A game. Man United, on the other hand, will have to possibly navigate. Again, this will be their toughest test for me. I look at the Premier League all around, and Tottenham have the best defense for me. They balance defense properly with attack, and this season they've shown ruthlessness to put chances away early. So you make one mistake, they punish. 2 mistakes, they punish. And they look like they could go on and score 4, 5 in games without actually slowing down. So
especially with Harry Kane.
Exactly my point. And United's defense will be tested. To be very honest, I have not been convinced with any of the pairings United have made this season. Never mind the fact that United possibly have the best defense in the Premier League as we speak now. That's very... It's deceptive. Let me put it that way. It's very deceptive. I don't think that teams have gone at United enough. In the situations where they have, United have had very good cover, and that's what has really helped them. At times they've had 2 men shielding their back four when they've had...
Well, I mean, of course, I mean, if you're a team, you want to protect your defense, and exactly, I think that's why Nemanja Matic is in this squad.
He's been fantastic for United so far. I mean, we might talk about Romelu Lukaku and what he's doing.
But Matic
has been the guy. Really, he's mopped up balls. He's looked slick. He's passed it forward. He's initiated attacking moves from counter-attacking situations. He does it all for them. And I believe that in this game, that will be a key battle. That battle between Dembele and Dele Alli against Nemanja Matic and whoever partners him in that midfield will be key, because this game will basically be won on 50-50 chances. Who gets to the loose ball first? Who could possibly convert from dead ball situations, free kicks, corner kicks, and whatnot. We'll see what happens.
Okay, so that's a tough tie. 11:30 at Old Trafford. Last season, Man United won this particular tie thanks to a Henrik Mkhitaryan goal in the first half. It was United's first win of a very dodgy period. Now they need to try and rewrite those notes and see what they can get out of Tottenham Hotspur. Saturday at 11:30. We head to London, and it's Arsenal taking on Swansea. But we saw Swansea. They lost to Man United last night in the Carabao Cup. Jesse Lingard getting 2 goals. Now they go to Arsenal, who, you know, is working okay. Your namesake, Eddie
Nketiah. I was guessing the headlines. I think he looks good. He looks good as a young man. He doesn't get talked about enough because obviously he doesn't see the big games. But yesterday he showcased what's on song for him. And funny enough, he was born after Arsene Wenger joined the club. Yeah, that's so very, very young,
very recent.
Young individual.
Joined from Chelsea. Oddly, he was let go because of his size. It looks like he's defying gravity and whatever limitations.
Big things,
but Arsenal, look, they should get past Swansea.
Arsenal will paste Swansea, I tell you. This is the sort of game Arsenal just love. Arsenal love games against mediocre, mid-table to lower tier table teams that feel like they've got a couple of good games going, so will come in a little foolhardy and a little overconfident. They will get whacked.
Especially after Arsenal beat Everton last week. You see that the units putting out some good displays. Ozil, Sanchez,
and
Ramsey,
let's be honest, these are the type of games Arsenal typically win. Mid-table, lower tier teams. These are the type of teams Arsenal take delight in beating. Ozil will be at his number 10 best again, cutting open defenses. They will be running at the guys. I expect Arsenal to, record a healthy dose of goals on the day, unless Paul Clement will possibly seek to park the bus. I haven't seen Swansea ever attempt to park about. I don't think they're about to start now. If they do, I also don't think they have the personnel to see it out for 90 minutes.
Okay.
So parking the bus is just too exhausting mentally to carry out throughout the duration of a game.
So Arsenal tipped to win that game against Swansea. That's Saturday at 2 p.m. At 4:30 game is Bournemouth versus Chelsea. You never know what to expect for Bournemouth at home. They could lie down and play dead, or they could come out and play on some adrenaline. And Chelsea themselves are hoping that they can chain a good sequence together. They won last week against Watford, had to scrape for it. Now they go to the Vitality Ground to face Eddie Howe's Bournemouth. That should be a very good one.
Yeah, and this is not a championship sequence. See, that's the problem with Chelsea now. And lose one game, draw another game, win another game. It doesn't work like that for championship teams. And the only thing that I see possibly hindering their championship chances is the lack of consistency. So last season, when they were operating their system that really wasn't working for them, there were consistent personnel in that lineup. And then they switched, and then the personnel still remained consistent. Okay. This season, there's been a lot of chopping and change. Yes, it's down to injuries, but again, championship caliber size and championship caliber teams always parade consistent teams throughout the season. Okay. I've seen it too many times to believe that that's not really what happens. When you take the seasons where United won the league, where Manchester City won the league, there were always consistent players in certain positions.
And you think Chelsea don't have those numbers?
They don't, especially in their most critical part and the part that made the most sense when they won the championship, central midfield. They have good central midfielders. They've just not had them play consistently enough. There's just not been enough chemistry. There's just been that lack of connection. One person comes in, the other is injured. The other comes in, the manager has to switch tactics to accommodate somebody else. It's just not.
Conte is feeling the heat.
It's just not.
It's really
and I'm already hearing reports that Chelsea are eyeing Napoli's head coach to Sarri to come and take over. And really, see, you don't want these rumors over your head when the league is not even at the second round stage. So as for Antonio Conte,
not even 15 games.
Exactly my point. For Antonio Conte, the script is simple: rack up as many wins as possible while avoiding defeat. Because I'm saying again, I'm convinced that if Chelsea lose 5 games this season before the first round ends, that's it.
Wow. So Chelsea need to find it against Eddie Howe's men at the Vitality Ground Saturday at 4:30. It should be a very, very exciting one. Bournemouth never, play shy football. They come out, play aggressive. They want to challenge the big boys. That should be a very exciting one. Saturday at 4:30. So we talked about the Leicester-Everton game. The other game is Brighton taking on Southampton. That's at 1:30. So on Sunday, October 29th, the clocks will change again. So now they're going to go forward. So kickoff times from Sunday will now be 1 hour ahead. So from 11:30 kickoffs on Saturday, we'll be going to 12:30 kickoffs on Saturday, 3 p.m. and then 5:30. That should be good. Monday night is Burnley versus Newcastle. But this should be an interesting one. Burnley versus Newcastle. 2 teams who won't play the prettiest type of football, but are very, very solid, to put it that way. Last week, Newcastle had to scrape the bottom to get a 1-0 win over Palace. Now they go to Turf Moor, a place that won't give you too much joy if you're on away side.
Well, I believe that what Newcastle have done at the start of this season is evidence of what they plan to do for the rest of the season. And this is the perfect type of game that gives them the opportunity to put into effect that scenario. Now, they've become a grinded out team because they don't have the most creative of players. They don't score the most goals. So they come out to defend, come out to chase every ball and work their socks off to the referee whistle. So that's the plan for them. The only problem is that the team they are playing against are possibly the masters at that type of game. So it's going to be a game that will be defined on fine lines of quality. For instance, I've seen Burnley. They've done it too many times. One loose ball in front, some Vokes will pounce, and that could be the end of the game. Newcastle, on the other hand, have really done it well too. And I'm really excited about Matt Ritchie. I think he's had a fantastic season.
Their best player.
He's had a fantastic
with Jamal Lascelles.
He's had a fantastic season for them, and every time he touches the ball, it looks like something good will happen for Newcastle. He knows when to send in crosses at the right time. He knows when to shoot. He knows when to put his teammates through. He's been a fantastic find for Newcastle wherever. I think they picked him up from AFC Bournemouth.
Yeah, he left Bournemouth.
Yes,
in a decision, I was really surprised he decided to leave Bournemouth for Newcastle.
Newcastle is a more prestigious team. I mean, who will not leave Newcastle for who will not leave AFC Bournemouth from Newcastle? But I think that he will be key to how they will perform. But they should look out for AFC Bournemouth. Corner kicks, free kicks, any type of dead ball situation, and the occasional long ball from the counter attack could undo Newcastle. So they will want to keep it tight at the back. At least try to leave in 1 or 2 men when they attack, just so they can be able to soak up the counter attacking pressure. But I think that from what I've seen from Newcastle, they will scrape this by a goal to
Well,
nil.
we'll see. Jamal Lascelles has been leading them really well, scoring headers and getting them points from set pieces. Let me read a few comments and then we'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll try and wrap it up. And I'll get Ben's thoughts on the two Ghanaians who will be on display this weekend. One, Christian Achu, the other, Jordan Ayew. Let me go through the messages. Abdul Sameh Lati says, nice, thank you very much for watching. Hollison Dande says he's watching from Hafasini. Okay, nice to know you're watching us there. Philip Kofi Ashon, our usual director, he's not here today. He's in the corner watching. Amani Mutalatanko says, wants to go back to Everton, okay? Daniel Abe says, I pray for Klopp to follow suit. So you want Klopp fired? Wow. That's a hard one. FBK Benny says, Moyes to Everton again, not. Says, great discussion. Thank you. Philip Confession comes back and says, he's captaining Kane. Okay. So, Philip, are you saying that Kane will score again?
He should captain Kane. I nearly cut Harry Kane for my team, though. I nearly cut him for my team before he scored a brace and gave an assist. Yeah, that would. I mean, I decided to be a little patient. My patience was rewarded.
Let me go through this one. This one is from Ethan Ted Douglas. Says Everton will hire Chris Coleman of Wales. Wow, Chris Coleman doesn't want to renew his contract.
And Chris Coleman won't be bad. Remember, he did quite a good job with Fulham back in the day. I always like Chris Coleman. Plays good attacking football. He always puts through very unlikely names. He will bring through funny guys through the system who will eventually blossom. It should be quite the test. I would prefer Chris Coleman to David Moyes, honestly.
Of course, I mean he's a better choice. Managed, we'll send him to the Euro semis. Boateng Esiama, a very good friend from Cambodia, is back. Yep. He says, "Good evening, guys. Great job watching you live from Phnom Penh in Cambodia."
It's good afternoon here, actually. Maybe it's evening in Cambodia.
Yeah, it is when you look at the time. This one, okay, and he continues, says, next week I'll be watching you from Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam. What exactly are you doing in Southeast Asia?
Are you a war veteran? He's a war veteran, I'm sure.
Maybe. Do you deal in rice? I don't know. So you send us your answer because this is too crazy. Now you are in Vietnam. Amazing. Tell us if the people in Vietnam love Premier League football. And maybe Ghana Premier League football. We don't know. All right, you send us more thoughts. All right, let's just take a short break. When we come back, I'll be taking Ben's thoughts on Jordan Ayew and Christian Achu season so far. They are the two Ghanaians representing us and their teams, of course, in this weekend's Match Day Live right here on City 97.3 FM. The Premier League Preview Show does a quick spin around. We'll be back.
They'll go with the 4-4-2 diamond formation for that early lead. An early goal will settle the nerves.
The away team has been in bad form. They will feel the pressure.
The home sides kept 2 clean sheets in a row.
It's all about momentum.
Who will have the stamina to last the 90 minutes?
The star striker is suspended.
They've got no kappa.
The marking will be tight.
This will be won or lost in the midfield.
This is why I bet.
This is why I bet.
This is why I bet. Betway, for the love of the game.
Inside the last minute of the opening 45 here. And,
Scores. 1. Who? Red. Blue.
What? Scores! What a way to finish the first half!
Scores. Halftime.
Scores!
play. We are fire in our hearts. We are made of black.
Hi, you're welcome back. It's the final leg of the Premier League Preview Show right here on City TV Live on Facebook. Nathan Carr here. Let me go through some of the comments that have been coming through. People are dropping their thoughts. Sefa says he's watching from Helsinki. I'm sure it's late afternoon in Finland. It must be brutally cold there. It's in Finland.
It's good what Facebook Live does.
Yeah,
it gives you access to everywhere.
So we'll be back. So we like to look. The next thing I like to hear from people in the North and South Pole. If you are watching, let us know. Because that will be a record, I'm telling you. All right, now just a quick diversion. Now, if you love under-17 football, the under-17 World Cup has been happening. Ghana is out, unfortunately, but England beat Brazil, Ben 3-1. England look very good.
Yeah, they look good, and it has Premier League interest as well. Brewster plays his football for Liverpool Football Club. He's been brilliant this tournament. I remember the only time. One of the times where I saw him, he actually missed a sitter.
Yes, and
then he came back and scored a free kick in that game. Ever since,
it looks like he's leading the charge.
Yeah, he's really and by a long shot too. He's really gone on to do fantastic stuff. I think that he might just be the guy to lead England to big stuff. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Let's just
we'll see. Mali will be playing against Spain later this afternoon at 2:30 in the other semi-final. But let's talk about our Ghanaian brothers in the Premier League. So. Andrew Ayew's not had a good season at all, and we'll have to be honest. We'll be very blunt with him. He's been poor, so we will not be talking too much about him. But Jordan Ayew and Christian Atsu are doing okay. I watched Jordan play last night against Manchester United. He looked decent. He's a player who seems more focused now. He's working hard, contributing. A few more goals for his effort will be fine. But over this weekend, he will have to be very vital for Swansea as they travel to Arsenal.
Let me be honest. I think that Jordan doesn't get set up enough. I haven't even seen him waste enough chances to slate him as a striker.
Could he not be the one given the responsibility of creating the chances for people like Tammy Abraham?
You see, that's the problem, and that's the problem with playing for a team like Swansea. So, in as much as Jordan would like to just concentrate on the task of scoring goals, his style of play and the manner and the position in which he plays has actually led him to take on a dual responsibility of now scoring and looking to bring others into the action as well, which I think might look like a good thing on first sight, but it really will hinder his game. I feel that, look, he's a guy who is intelligent, he has good footwork, he just doesn't have enough goals in his repertoire to show. And the earlier Swansea took Jordan out and made him out as their main striker, their main focus, around which they were going to create goals for, the better for him. Again, I feel that for somebody of his quality, he doesn't score enough goals. I don't see him even miss enough chances, and that's a problem. Swansea need to place more playmakers around Jordan, get him into better scoring spaces, and scrap the task of Jordan having to create goal-scoring opportunities, because if they do free him up in that role, again, I don't think he's the most prolific, but 15 goals across all competitions would be great for Jordan.
Let's talk about Christian Atsu. What have you made of his season? 9 games into the season. He's started almost every game for Newcastle. Yeah. I still think he's underperforming.
I still think he's playing the wrong position. I know we disagree. I sort of think that he prefers to play on the right. He just has not fashioned out how to work effectively on the right without being predictable. And in that sense, going out onto the left-hand side allows him to be more simple in his approach and more direct, and it's helped Newcastle well this season. Richie's on the right hand side as well, so he won't be required on the right. Only thing for me and Christian Atsu is that, again, as much as he is putting in the effort, I also feel that he should look to establish himself more as a leader. I believe that with the type of game he's playing, if he is functioning in a situation where Newcastle are having an okay game or an okay type of season, his natural self will eventually show through, meaning that he will rack up decent assist numbers and decent goal numbers. But I need Atsu to become the type of guy that Newcastle will never think of selling. That's the type of guy I need him to be. Basically based on what the Premier League, how unfriendly the Premier League has been to him. He needs to put himself in the line where Newcastle can think about cleaning out 10, 15 players and he will not be touched. And he's not done that for me so far. How does he get to this level? He needs to demand the ball a lot more. I look at Richie, and that's what Richie is doing better than Cristiano. So he's demanding the ball a lot more in dangerous areas, and he's putting in dangerous balls, and he's getting his team into good goal scoring positions. Achu needs to be a little more vocal. He needs to be a little more the leader by example. He needs to be a driving force in matches where everything is still. He needs to let them feel his pace, his agility, and his presence. So until he can do that, he will really just be another Newcastle player who could be dispensed of in the light of unfortunate circumstances. Now they could possibly have new owners coming in, so you know what I'm talking about.
Wow, it could get really tricky. But Achu and Christian Achu and Jordan Ayew are two brothers flying the Ghanaian flag in the Premier League. We wish them the very best. Jordan and Swansea travel to Arsenal that Saturday at 2 p.m. For Newcastle, they are featuring on our Monday night special. They travel to Turf Moor to face Burnley. Ben, it's nice to have you. We'll be back next week discussing the fallout from the weekend. It should be a fascinating weekend of Premier League football live on City 97.3. We start off on a Saturday at 11:30. It's Man United welcoming Spurs. Arsenal will face Swansea. Bournemouth will take on Chelsea. That's on Saturday. On Sunday, Brighton and Hove will welcome Southampton, and Leicester will take on the managerless Everton Football Club. On Monday night is Burnley taking on Newcastle. Note the new time, 8 p.m. That's on Monday night. That's our preview show. Let me read a few comments. Kojo 20 says Achu and Jordan are doing a great job for their clubs. Says Achu's performance is very vital to Newcastle. Question says he's watching us from Vasa in Finland. We have another guy who's watching us from Finland. John Kikeli Bansa says City style. And Chum Darkun says great analysis. Thank you very much for watching. We are back next week, 1 p.m. same time, same place, same channel, same show. Premier League Preview Show out. My name is Nathan Carr. The show was proudly brought to you by Betway Premium Bank and proudly supported by Vodafone, by Slide Pay, and by Guinness. We are out. We'll catch you next Wednesday for another episode of the Premier League Preview Show only on CCTV live on Facebook. Take care. Peace. We're out.